welcome to Asian Pulse TV, an informative and resourceful station. I'm your host Manbir Randhawa, and today we are broadcasting from the unceded territories of Silvertooth Nation, Katsi, Mokim, and Kwantlen Nation. We feel very blessed for the generosity of the First Nation people who let us share their traditional and ancestral land with us to live, laugh, and grow. We'll take a short break and hear some words from our sponsors.
I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages.
Bollywood Banquet Hall and Conference Center, located at Pile Business Center at 201-8166 128th Street in Surrey. No celebration is too small to accommodate you. They have newly renovated 2 halls to serve you, up to 1,000 guest capacity, top-notch chefs to delight you with delectable and heavenly cuisine. So just call Bollywood Banquet Hall at 604-598-2700 for your events.
United Pallets and Crates is located at 11585 134th Street in Surrey, BC. Give Sam Dooler a call
At 604-760-2028.
or call the office number at 604-634-2001. You can also visit the website, which is www.unitedpalletsandcrates.com, or send us email at info@palletsandcrates.com.
A warm welcome to the year-end review of 2023 from Asian Pulse Television. I'm Indira Prast. The year 2023 had a lot of social, economic, and political issues that have affected people in different communities in unique ways. So how do we reflect on some of the significant events? Well, speaking to many people in the community, one of the number one elements that has affected families is the economy. And when we look at the increase in inflation that is not comparable to the average income that families have, it has posed some serious barriers to families' well-being. So what we have had is family members not able to purchase the standard groceries that they would in the past. Also, expectations have gone down. Vacations abroad have been reduced, where families are now taking local holidays, also not going out to restaurants as much. So there has been a new way of defining luxury for families today. One of the biggest challenges, of course, is the younger generation trying to find affordable housing, students, and that's really posing a significant problem for family members supporting their children or children wanting to be independent. So that's been a number one struggle, and one of the solutions have been is youth have been finding roommates to be able to afford accommodation closer to their academic institutions or away from home. And if we look at Vancouver, of course, has been astronomical in its increase, and a lot of families and students have actually also moved to Calgary for greater affordability. But what's interesting to note is that the rise in prices of rent has gone up by 17% between the year 2022 and year 2023. So it leads to questions of what are some other options for families and for youth to live in affordable dwellings. Homelessness is much more visible to people in communities. You see tents erected in places that in the past have been occupied by parks and sports. So it leads again to questions around how can the cities accommodate and create affordable housing to deter homelessness, but also to find the proper health care for individuals that are homeless. So this, post-COVID, we're still seeing the remnants of COVID as a result of increase in poverty and COVID-19. So these are some serious issues that have affected families. You walk on beaches, you walk in parks, and as people walk and have conversations, it's about affordability. Another big issue that has impacted everyday life for specific families globally have been the wars in Ukraine, the wars in Israel, between Palestine, and it has affected people in different ways, especially with social media and up-to-date live information. And of course, wars always create divisions in communities. We're seeing a huge spiraling of anti-Semitism as well as Islamophobia, and a lot of young people cultivating hearts of hatred. So how is it that we can, as communities, come together and deal with some of the serious issues and not to confront people with hatred and with violence? So these wars are ongoing, and I think what has been requested, especially also in academic institutions, is the freedom to have conversations concerning issues on both sides. There is silencing that is occurring. There are also people that are not feeling free to speak their views. So there needs to be education concerning history, as well as open conversations, respectful conversations concerning cause, concerning history, impact, and prevention of further violence. What we're also seeing that has continued is the gang situation in the Lower Mainland, and we are still reading and hearing about gun violence. And what we are finding is that, especially during economic time periods of hardship, youth are much more in need for particular basic needs or for luxury items, and they're more likely to be lured into the glorified perceptions that gang life may offer. And there's also an increase in vulnerability of youth and alienation. And so that has really made it easier for leaders to recruit those very vulnerable youth. So what we're seeing is a dialectical war of, ripe situations and opportunities for criminality, of drug trafficking, joining gangs, and being used by particular members to engage in the trafficking. But at the same time, we also have a lot more anti-gang education that is occurring. And I think there is also quite a lobby of parents that want to see that offered in schools at younger ages so that youth can be armored early enough to identify whether this is a recruitment strategy, and also for parents to see the red flags earlier than later, before the youth are too deeply involved in the gang situation. But what has been disconcerting is the collateral damage and the brazenness of the violence, where innocent people can be susceptible to the bullets. So this situation continues, and again, the war is one of educating and armoring youth. So, these situations haven't gone away, but they're just new strategies to tackle the situation. I also think what we need to consider are some of the positive aspects in terms of memory, in terms of legacy. And one very important marker in 2023 was Canadian soccer, for the Canadian women's soccer team, Christine Sinclair, who from Burnaby, retired, known for her 190 international goals. She has been an icon in soccer, and an incredible role model for women in particular in the realm of soccer. So she retired, and there was a celebratory game between Australia and Canada in December, and all the fans came to support and thank her. And what I was present there, and I saw how diverse the audience was. So many members from the South Asian community, a lot of the girls that were inspired by Christine Sinclair in what she lobbied for fair play for women in soccer, as well as opening it up to non-binary identities in the realm of soccer. So I think her legacy is important to celebrate. It's a loss that we no longer will see her as a player, but that's a very important I would say marker of 2023 for women and soccer. Continuing with reflecting on some key elements of 2023, we can't overlook the concern of global warming. And in British Columbia, we have seen an unprecedented number of wildfires. In that year of 2023, we had about 457 wildfires, and the Donny Creek wildfire was the largest wildfire in BC history that was documented. So questions around what can be done to reduce global warming, what role can we play to prevent further fires, flooding, have led to the younger generation really trying to change how they shop, much more concerned about packaging and avoiding plastics and recycling. So these concerns continue, but the urgency in 2023 seemed to have been much more powerful. And also the activism for preserving the old growth forests were very, very routine, very dedicated, and they were impactful. So there seems to be continued outrage in how certain corporations are involved in impacting global warming, in plastics being dumped into the oceans, as well as many other chemical particles. So one will predict that in 2024, there's going to be a lot more activism and accountability of corporations concerning being more environmentally sustainable in their production and production of goods. We can also look at 2023 as being an important marker for Indigenous communities. Wab Kinew was the first Indigenous Premier of Manitoba, which really shows the progressiveness that we're seeing in that province, and hoping that other provinces will follow suit. So this has been a really warm welcome for Indigenous communities. And I think it's been really important for younger generations to have role models of Indigenous people in the realm of politics, so that we can have a greater representation of Indigenous leaders in these roles. On that topic, decolonizing education was a big topic of 2023, where academic institutions are putting and creating spaces to educate on colonial histories, on reconciliation, and especially for newcomers coming into Canada that may not have be aware of that part of Canadian history, and also reconciliation regarding not only land, but also with respect to residential schools and the sensitivity concerning that. So these are educational platforms that are increasing in academic institutions. And so that is something that is going to be continued to be supported in 2024. One other aspect, though, that I think is important to highlight in 2023, I mean, there's so many aspects regarding politics, but I want to speak more to the post-COVID climate today that is now, even though we still have some of the variants, COVID is under control. We have vaccines for it, but the mindset is still a little bit impacted by COVID and the changes. And one of the big changes for people is the reflection around life and death, and concerning leadership and ethics and humanity. And so people now spending more time to reflect has led to a generation of youth that are wanting to take action and also to humble themselves. And I think that's really important today as we go through these difficult times. What we're seeing is people practicing more gratitude, just being grateful for, having a meal on the table, having your family members nearby, having health if you have health, and not living in a country that is engaged in war, and where there is relative safety. So there are many other areas of 2023 that I haven't touched on, but I think we all as individuals have our own stories and our own memories of particular events that might have affected our families, people that are close to us, or countries or environments or animals that we care for. So what we hope with Asian Pulse is to move forward in the new year of 2024 with gratitude and compassion, and trying to really make a small difference in a person's life. Sometimes we're not able to see that impact. We're not able to see the flower of that seed that we planted. However, practicing this kind of kindness is ever more urgent in time periods that we are living in right now. So from all of us at Asian Pulse, we wish you a wonderful 2024. I'm Indira Prast.
HSBC Rugs B7 is off to a new heights. The event starts from February 23rd, 24th, and 25th, but tickets are already available on Ticketmaster.com. If you have missed our today's show, you can watch it again tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. and again on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. on Shaw Cable. Asian Pulse brings 3 different shows each and every week. Fiji in Focus, which you can watch on Tuesdays at 10 p.m., Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. Bula Beats show is broadcasted every Thursday at 10 p.m. and again on Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Kamila Singh's show is broadcasted Mondays at 10 a.m. and again on Sundays at 5:30 p.m. All of our shows are also uploaded on our YouTube channel under the banner Kamila Singh Show. Today, our parting thought is not only for the day, but the parting thought for the whole year. And I will start with that Almighty God. God is so good to give us new days and new years, since He knows we need so many ways to start over. So whatever it is that you need to start over now, because it's a fresh start for a fresh new year and you have a new chance to start anything new on your own. With that, I'm your host Manbir Randhawa. I wish you all a very happy Christmas and a very happy new year from our family to your family.